right, testing. I think we are good to go.
Very good.
Hell yeah.
How are you feeling today, Alex?
Mate, I'm very proud of the fact that we parked on the footpath today.
Yeah.
I feel like
Thank you, Hannah.
a rebel.
Yeah.
You know, I love a good rule. Actually, no, I don't follow that many rules, but traffic rules, you kind of have to follow them.
Yeah.
But
especially around Brookvale and parking.
Dude, nightmare.
Yeah.
But we are parked on the footpath and we'll deal with the consequences should they come to us.
Yes.
But, that's fun. Also, I'm glad there's air conditioning in here today.
Yes.
It is hot outside.
Yeah.
It's a hot day.
Yep.
It's and we've got a hot topic for you.
Hot topic, hot off the press. So
extra.
read all about it. Listen all about it.
A little bit of a nod back to last week's episode.
Yes.
Which was the wife edition of Best and Worst.
Yes. So now we are on to the Best and Worst Business Edition.
That's right.
So today we're going to be talking about some of the worst and best programs that we've been investing in, some of the worst and best physical investments, and then the worst and best videos that we've ever created.
Yeah, I think that'll be a fun one.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it because what I learned from the wife episode, is that we're really just trying our best the whole time.
Yes.
And everything's a test.
Yes.
You never know. You know?
Exactly.
Like maybe your dinner date where you got your wife along as a driver and then got plastered on red wine and ate raw chicken. That's not trying your best for really.
No. It was a bit self-absorbed. Bring her along, call it a date. Yeah, that did not work out well.
No, but the rest of
everything else we tried really hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you are, and I'm sure that it happens the other way around as well.
100%.
You know, I'm sure there'd be things that we would never mention out loud that our wives have tried to do for us, and we've been like, appreciate it, but swing and a miss.
Through to the keeper. All right. So, do you want to get started on what is the worst course or program you've ever invested in?
Yeah. There's this videographer called Triple Effect.
Oh!
Yeah, well...
There we go.
So...
Now that I know how you feel.
Actually, when we decided to do a Best and Worst Business Edition, the first thing I thought of was, what's a bad course I've done?
Yep.
And I'm not going to come out here and like call out anyone I've paid to work with and be coached by who maybe I didn't get the value I wanted to. But I bought a program from a very famous gentleman called JT Fox, who is way too famous and rich to care what I say about him.
Yeah.
But this guy is phenomenal at sales. I don't know if you've ever seen him live.
No. I was actually going to use the exact same example because I've sat through his thing. I watched him pitch.
Wow.
And I had to second guess myself. And then the funny thing was I actually went to the second seminar with a client because he has that buy one, get one free.
Yeah.
Or you can bring your business partner along. And anyway, you continue.
Well, I went to Success Resources. We've all been to those. And that's basically where they say, we're going to bring you all this value from these people. And they hook you in with like Gary Vee or Grant Cardone, someone who's going to headline it. And then everyone before that is like some Australian or American entrepreneur who's kind of paid to be there. And then they give you half an hour of value. And then they say, go to the back of the room, buy my program.
Yeah.
Right. And it's, there's some good ones. There's some dodgy ones. And like, I've not been to one of these in years because I realize I hate every part of it.
Yes.
But they hooked me with Gary Vee, and I actually bought the Gary Vee package where you can like go and be in the room and you get to meet him, that sort of thing. That was cool.
Yeah.
He's a humble guy. I really like him. I still didn't agree with all his messages, but he seems like a really good dude.
Yeah.
And he's got nothing to sell, by the way. He's the only guy the whole day who doesn't sell a single thing.
Yeah.
Right? But coming on before Gary Vee, JT Fox. My God. Everyone's just like a normal kind of pitch.
Yeah.
He comes out. The video behind him is like a 747 plane playing like the national anthem with his name on the side of it.
Yeah.
He runs out, big red tie, blue suit, and he's got his feet on the chair. He's not standing on the stage. He's like running around. And this guy pitches better than anyone I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He's incredible because he does this thing where he's like social proof based, and he gets you into this program.
Yes.
Where you pay, and you can actually be. He organizes events where he gets like Mark Wahlberg to the event.
Yeah.
And then you pay to be in his program, and then he lets you on stage to interview Mark Wahlberg for like 5 questions. And then you pay like a bunch of money, but your brand just blows up because you've just paid to be on stage with Marky Mark. And anyway, he's doing that, and he pitches at the end of this thing, and he's like, I got a bunch of different programs, but this is the one you start with, and it's like a $5,000 program, and we all just sprinted to the back of the room to get it, right?
Yep.
And it's like a link to some online course with some CDs that come with it as well, like discs back in the day. So this is right at the end of discs.
Yeah.
And it was just like, if you did all these things that were there to improve your business acumen, your confidence, your memory was one, because he has a really good memory.
Yeah.
He was saying things like, you, second row, you were here last year, you sat over there. And they're like, yeah, I was. And that's really impressive.
Yeah.
All this stuff. But the thing is, like, when you just buy a program like that, an online course that's all self-paced, it's really hard to do it. Mm-hmm. And whether or not the value, I think the value in there wasn't great anyway, but also those courses need to be $300 when it's self-paced.
Yeah.
For me, $5,000 to just assume you're going to log on every day and do this thing. And everyone's got this pack of CDs they've never listened to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the thing that did come out of it, to saving grace out of it, was that you also get tickets, free access to all of his events when he does that. So I bought that one, and then he literally ran small room events with like 30 people in the room, and you can go sit up front, talk to JT Fox, which is mad. But he's just pitching you into the next thing every time. So he delivers some value, sells the next thing.
Yes.
And that's the thing that annoys me, is that like all these success coaches, they definitely help you in the moment.
Yeah.
But their agenda is to get you into the next thing.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's a half-hour pitch or a 2-day pitch.
Yep.
And that's it's a little disappointing when you realize that.
Oh, 100%. And I just want to add into there, like, because some of the things, like, I still remember his whole pitch, right? And you're absolutely right. It was just like, it was almost like, and I have no way of identifying this because, again, after that point, after being to one of those, I've never been to, one of those big day seminars things again, because it was such a pitch fest.
Yeah.
But what I remember is going to that one and just feeling like I don't even have the money and I want to run up the back and I remember like thinking to myself, do I ring someone and borrow some money? And I was like, hold on, no, you don't need this. Like, but his pitch is so good. Like, he just has you in a almost like a hypnotic state through all of the social proof of like, this is what this person has done and that person's done. Great presentation. Yep. But I think a little bit on the manipulative side. And then so I actually went to this second part of it. And what I do remember is this is the part that I thought was fucking cringe, is that he gets, so with JT Fox, and you might know this or you may not, but he actually gets people to wear his ties. Like, if you're a part of his program up to an elite level, you have to not only dress, because he talks about dressing a particular way, but he's like, he also says you have to wear my ties.
I have one.
Oh, do you?
I have a tie.
There you go. So you know all about this, right? And I just thought, I honestly thought it's almost like he's marking his people.
Yeah.
I thought it was fucking dodge. And so anyway, you know the point, because I was still like, the thing is, if you don't catch yourself, you can just sail right through it. And so I remember the point that I was like something was telling me something was off, but like everything that they were saying was so right. But you can just sort of just feel that something's not right here. the part that I knew this is completely off when he was pitching the next thing, right? As you're talking about. And it was like, come over to my house in LA or wherever he lives in America and I'll mentor you. And then he puts up a photo of him mentoring someone. And this is literally how he's doing it. He's literally like on the floor, on a cushion with his arms behind his head, with his eyes closed, and you can see someone sitting there with a notepad talking to him. Like, that is how much attention he's going to give you, because he's pitched that many people. He's probably flat out fucked. And like, that was the point I knew, like, this dude is so good at selling and he's so good at marketing. You've got to appreciate, don't hate the player, hate the game. Fair enough. But that's the point I knew. I was like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, this like, you can imagine you can get somewhere, but that was when I seen that photo that he posted, I was like, no.
Interesting.
That was the thing that had me go, this is completely off.
Yeah, he's an extraordinarily talented guy.
Yes.
I think he's a good guy as well. I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think he's a bad guy.
Fair enough.
I think he's just very good at what he does.
Yeah.
And everyone's a willing participant.
Oh, of course.
That's
of
the
course.
thing. I don't think there's such thing as a scammer when you get a thing that you've been given, but it's just like people attribute so much value to these things that they'll pay basically anything.
Yeah.
And so if you go to his house, like I went to his event and I got to be in the room with him and that was dope. And I had a mini one-on-one coaching session with him, which was like, 2 or 3 minutes, but still a little chat with him, just me and him about my plans, that sort of thing. He signed your tie and that sort of thing. He says, Alex is going to be, the next top health coach, JT Fox.
Yeah.
Great branding, all that sort of thing. You're on fire for a few days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't like the way there's always another. I get the ascension model, buy more stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like how there's always a pitch immediately after you bought something.
Yeah.
Give me a year, create a problem for me, and then put me into the next level of your program. Not don't sell me tomorrow when I've just bought the thing to be here. So I think I think any of this is on us as the consumer.
Yeah.
As much as it is on the seller.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
What was your bad experience?
My bad experience. So I'm not going to name the person. I had a sales coach.
Yeah.
And I think what I want to preface as well is, regardless of whether it's JT Fox or a coach or whatever, the thing that I think it's really important to preface here is that every investment is a choice. Yes. And regardless of the outcome, you learn or you win. Simple.
Yeah.
This was a learning lesson for Alan, right? So at the time, I was thinking I'm sort of struggling with my sales. Like I know I could do more. Like I'm speaking to a lot of people. My conversion's not great. I'm going to get a sales coach because I want some help, like converting more people. And then I engaged his sales coach. He definitely helped me get more sales. So he did his job as a sales coach. However, the 2.5 months, so it was a 3-month engagement. We lasted 2 months or 2 and a bit months. And that time, until Jess sort of pulled me, like sort of just said, I don't think this is working for you, Alan. Until she actually said that to me, I was in another daze, right? And what I mean by that is I was working with this guy and it was the most fucking stressful 2 and a bit months that I've ever had in my business, because as a sales coach, he's not doing his job unless I'm generating sales.
Yep.
And he is constantly fucking pushing me and pushing me and pushing me with every single conversation. So instead of being in a natural state where I can let people go who I don't think are a right fit, versus, giving a little bit of a nudge to those who, probably need that and everything else, everything needed to convert, right? So it was fucking stressful.
Yeah.
And it was also the people who I signed up, like it was almost like a little bit of a buy or die mentality.
Yeah.
Right? And what I got from the entire experience. So, and just to note, there were a few clients who did sign up during that period, and they ended up being some of the worst relationships that we've ever had. Mm-hmm. One that I had to refund, another that we, cancelled a little bit early, because the relationships were started on the wrong preface. It was like, Alan, I got them over the line, tick, sale. Now I've got to deliver on all of the things, and it was a complete shit show. And so the learning that I got from this, because I just as much as someone would go, well, the coach is shit or whatever, I take full responsibility for my choice in this notion. I engaged a sales coach to get more sales, and I got more sales. Mm-hmm. Yep. Fancy that. I realized that I don't actually want more sales. I actually realized that I'm really, after going through that process, I realized, you know what? Even though I could convert more people, I am actually genuinely happy with the people who are coming through under the circumstances that they're coming through, under the working arrangement that we're working. And for that reason, I actually realized I don't want a sales coach, and I don't want to go down this path of, I don't want to say tricking people, because it's not tricking people, but it definitely felt a little bit like, I don't know whether, again, manipulation's not the right word, but it's just like, how can I strategically use my words to, maybe it is manipulation. But how can I strategically use my words to get someone to give me an answer, to make a commitment financially there and then, because I've asked them the right questions and they've told me enough of their pain, and then I've jumped on and they've, acted within that time frame. And I think it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel like something that I want to do moving forward. And so anyway, the long and short of it is, I learned that I'm actually really happy with my sales. I might not necessarily have the greatest conversion rate, but the beauty, especially now, is, especially with video content, and you'll know this as well, is that when you've got video ads of you talking or doing something, and then they speak to the person who was in the ads, there is so much congruency to begin with. And the majority of the people who I now talk to don't need to be sold. They're either got full intentions of moving and they just want some detail, or they're not. And there's no, if there is some in between, we talk about it, but there's no pressure. I do put financial incentives, and other things to do to certain things within certain time frames if I hear there's an opportunity, but there's never the same traps and things that, occur that then you have to pay for in the working relationship. And so that was a huge lesson for me.
100%. Yeah. I think sales coaching is very helpful when you first start selling, because it gets you over the fear of it. It teaches you, it arguably teaches you when to push and pull more than you probably need to, because that's what Jordan Belfort does, and JT Fox, and they just crush it. And that's what you want when you're young and starting out. But then you're right, all my best clients, none of them have come through ads right now. They've all come through talking to me and a conversation. I signed up 2 people this week. One is a guy I knew from school who watched this podcast and was like, we should talk about it. And then one was a referral. And it's just like, do you want to do this or not? Yeah. No, you don't want to? No worries. And they have to kind of ghost you. You follow them up a bit because it's going to be a good thing. And then, it's much nicer. I think sales coaching for maybe products is a better thing. Having someone, if you can sell a product to someone like a car, if you're a salesperson in a shop, like a jewelry store, or a car, or whatever, it's very, very different to selling something to someone and then having to work with them for 6 months. Yeah. If they're not quite the right person. Exactly. And so someone could be like, oh yeah, I paid a bit too much for that car. Yeah. But if they're actively thinking, I don't want to be working with Alan, because he pushed me into the sale.
Yeah.
That is a very, very tricky start.
I think, and not everyone has to agree with me here. This is obviously just my opinion, but I just truly believe there needs to be congruency between where they are and the easier you can have them make that decision, great. And I'm not against sales coaches or sales scripts or anything like that. I just feel, from my experience, because the other part of the sale is you actually got to deliver on the service.
Yeah.
Obviously, the sale is just the first real initiation of, working out, whether it's the transaction, the deliverables, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a whole world you need to get into of actually delivering on the thing that you said you're going to deliver on as well. So, yeah.
Clients. It's like convincing your wife to marry you. And then you got to live with her.
Yeah, delivery.
Client delivery. Feedback forms. You get them daily without asking for them when you're married.
Tell me, what's the best investment you've made in a course or program?
Are we only there? We're only...
Yeah, we're doing this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a good episode.
Well, the best program I've done was 2 years ago, working 12 months with Scott, my mentor, in digital marketing.
Scott Waddell?
Scott Waddell, yeah. It was called the Accelerator Program at the Digital Marketing School. And we said that a self-paced online program with JT Fox, I never do the program. In this one, I never did the program. I just rocked up and talked to him twice a week. And that was everything I needed. A mentor, someone to, run ideas off. Sometimes they come in, I want to teach you guys about this today. But most of the time, it's like, what's been going on? How can we help you through that? Yeah. And that is just infinitely more helpful than following a structure, I believe, or a course, especially one where you've got no one running you through it.
Yeah.
I think that course creators and online courses, buy my 997 course, no one ever does them. Yeah. And so they don't get the value out of them. But just having someone to talk to, I probably wouldn't have a business now if I didn't go through that. Or I would still be looking at different shiny objects. Like, let's do that one instead. I would have never stuck with, inch wide, mile deep on marketing. I would have gone and done some freaking t-shirt business or something like that. Yeah. Because that's the way my brain works. Is like, I could supplement this with another. Yeah. Drones. They're in.
But it's such a good point is how important it is to just narrow down. Yeah. And just focus. And how much depth there is to just focusing on one thing.
And someone holding you accountable to doing that. Yeah. Like you and the sales coach. Yeah. You did more sales. Yeah. You did what you were meant to do, and what the approach was different to what you maybe wanted, but you got better at that one thing. Yeah. And so any program where I've had like a person who I talk to once or twice a week, that's been the best. Yeah. But Scott has been not incremental. I can never think of words when I'm looking at you, Alan. I get lost in your eyes. and just my vocabulary just suffers.
I'm glad I have that impact on you.
Yeah, man.
All right. So, all right. Shall I talk about mine?
In a minute. I'm just looking at you. Go ahead.
You can go now. Okay. So,
best program or course you've ever invested in?
So I've very similar to you. I've worked with some incredible coaches. Yeah. And had some incredible experiences. I've talked about doing breath work and some kinesiology. Big shout out to Money Up, Time Down. I've done some work with Drew and Marley Slater. They are amazing. There's a couple of different people I've had some really good experiences, but my favorite by far is one that I'm still doing now. It's called The Rich Mystic Man. Yes. And it's really interesting. All right, so how do I go about this? How do I talk about it? There is so much stuff that I've sort of gotten by being involved in a community of men. And I think it's just really cool. Like, this work that it's just such like it's the whole reason I love this podcast. Like there's banter, there's there's vulnerability. We went for a big, deep and meaningful before we got started on the podcast today, talking about, shit and different things.
Tears and chicken.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And for that exact reason, that's why I love this program. And there's some really cool experiences that I've also been on as well. Experimented with some plant medicines and some other things.
Oregano.
Yeah, oregano. Yep. And it has there's really no words to describe, I just like in the simplest form, it's helped me to evolve spiritually massively.
Is that the promise of the what is it like going
There's no real promise. It's sort of like, see, the thing is, the majority of the people are in the enagic space, the network marketing space, right? I'm probably one of 2 or 3 people who are not in the enagic space. And but Clint, the guy who runs it, absolute legend, and he's had a lot of success through network marketing, like literally earned 7 figures because of it, residual a year. That's above and beyond, anything, any coaching or anything. Like, so there's things to learn, like how he's able to bring a community together is incredible.
Yeah.
Like that is one aspect that I'm really looking at from a business acumen. But Clint actually, before he got into network marketing and everything else, he's actually a personal trainer, and he's got like he's always learning things about his body and just not only being a man but also like being healthy, and like in the simplest way is I've like grown my spiritual understanding of who I am. Mm-hmm. But that's also through understanding how to be healthier, how to, things around sexual energy, things around obviously business and different things. And so there's so many different facets to what's sort of covered. And I actually got to share, like we had a Rich Mystic Man recently here in Sydney, and I got to present like how to create a video sales letter to add it and things like that. But I think the biggest thing is I just feel like spiritually I've grown, and it's something that's really important to me to do. And I've been able to do it with some incredible men who are just on the same wavelength and level. And so it has been, for me, that's the best course / program. And I love hanging out with the boys, especially because we don't drink. No one? No, it's not that no one drinks. It's just that no one does drink when we're out.
That's not the culture. Yeah.
And especially with some of the medicines and other things that we're doing, it just doesn't work. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's very left field, but it's definitely helped me evolve as a person. Yeah.
Bravo, man.
Yeah.
Bravo. The Rich Mystic Men.
Rich Mystic Man. Yeah.
That's what I call you. When I said to Ali before she really knew who you were, I was like, I'm going out with Alan today. She's like, oh, is that the Rich Mystic Man? And she'd never even heard of the program. She was
really?
No, not really.
Don't do that to me.
Not really.
Don't do that.
That'd be a cool way of being looked at, though, wouldn't it?
Oh, it would be. Yeah.
So, a lot of the things you mentioned in that sound like they're in that book, The Way of the Superior Man.
Yes.
You read
actually,
that
book? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I keep trying to start reading that book and then not enjoying it.
It is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like a whole bunch of hooey. But
yeah. Because there's some really cool things in this, The Way of the Superior Man as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like everything. Like there are some really, really deep things that we've gone through that I've just gone, fuck it, I can't keep up with this. But then there's also been things that I've come back to and I'm like, oh, fuck, I now get it.
Yeah.
I now understand. I'm now beginning to implement this. And yeah, it's way too fucking deep for this podcast.
Totally.
Yeah. But it is that, like, I'll just, before we move on, I'll just say that the depth that you learn to experience in that sort of environment allows me to go deep with other clients, right? And what I mean by that, and you may or may not recognize this, especially when we film together, is I'll like tune into your energy hard, and I will be not only listening but watching and just picking up little tiny things that you're doing with your body, and watching for opportunities and reflections, and you know, and all I'm trying to do is reflect back to you how you can present yourself in a really effective way whilst keeping some sort of eye on the map or the process in which we need to take these videos and things like that. So I know it sounds really deep, but it allows me to be deep with clients and, you know, go to an extreme level. And that requires obviously trust as well. And another reason why, coming back to the whole sales thing, like if I'm going to go that deep with someone, I don't want to be dealing with a fuckwit.
Yeah.
I want to deal with someone who I can genuinely connect and who not only trust me to help them, but I can trust to know that I'm going to be safe to go deep with them at the same time as well.
Well, you mentioned that a few episodes back about how if you are trying to make good content to create a community, you've got to have some substance to it.
Got to have a soul.
Got to have a soul.
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone's got one. It's just some people won't let it out. They're all surface level, which is, you know, everyone's fine. I'm not very deep, I don't think, but I think that that's really interesting you said that. So cool, man. It's fun to see where all, you know, how you got so weird.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I am a fucking weirdo.
You're one of the weirdest guys I know by a long shot.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
So,
all right.
Makes for a good podcast.
All right. We're now up to physical investments.
Well, we can skip through these ones pretty fast.
Yes.
Right? Because for me, the best physical, we mean tangible things you've bought. Because most investments we make in these businesses are like into courses or staff or whatever. It'd be a bit brutal to say who was the worst member of staff you've ever had. I'd be like, oh yeah, Darren. Like, that guy sucked.
Sorry, Darren, who's one of my videographers in Melbourne.
Oh, actually?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
he's a legend though. He's a legend.
We like your Darren. I was talking about a fake Darren.
Fake Darren.
Pretend Darren.
Darren.
An avatar of Darren. Jesus. Don't take
Sorry,
that
went... Okay, sorry, let's move on. Sorry, Darren.
Things you can hold, pick up. We didn't want, and just stuff that's not so obvious, like a laptop. Yeah. So the best thing I think I've bought, which sounds like a real hipster bullshit, is I've got an uppy downy electric standing desk, which is dope. I used to have like a big corner desk which could have like all the shelves and stuff, but we know the universe abhors the vacuum. If you have a shelf, it's going to get filled with stuff that doesn't need to be there, right? So I got rid of all that stuff, and I got like a really simple, just piece of wood and 4 legs, but it goes up and down, and you can have it city level, press a button, and it's standing level. And for days like today, when we're in the afternoon, I'm trying to maybe I've done a workout that day, my back's feeling a bit tight. It stops you from slouching through your afternoons if you stand up, and it kind of forces you to be awake. It's kind of like driving home with the windows down when you're tired. Yeah. So I usually finish my day standing and start it off rather than getting worse throughout the day. I finish my day standing, and I could easily stop working as soon as I feel like I don't want to work anymore. But that actually helps me get through those final hours where I don't want to be there.
Where did you buy it, and how much was it?
Oh, Temple & Webster, I think. Have you heard of them? No. It's like an online furniture store. Yep. And it's generally quite nice stuff. Like, it's not Kmart stuff, but it's also not like, you know, fancy, not Freedom furniture level, somewhere in between. Yeah. It's like maybe $300, $400.
Great. Great investment.
I got a chair from them as well, actually. Like a big kind of like leather, spinny office chair that reclines a bit. combination of the two, going off what I used to have, like some free swivel chair I got off like Ali's dad. Like, really good. Really, really good. Nice. So that was mad. And the worst thing, I bought, we've all bought a lot of dumb things. Probably the dumbest one I bought was like custom wristbands.
Okay.
For my coaching clients back in the day. And they said...
WWJD?
No. I've got a story about that. but it's no one... Yeah. It's a complete inside joke. What did they say? It said the name of the program, which was Feed Your Future. It was like a nutrition program. Mm-hmm. And it said, I always show up on them. And they were cool because I saw another guy who I knew who had custom wristbands for his clients. Yeah. And it said, be your own hero or something like that. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Give it in a little welcome pack. Thing is, he had to like order 200 of them. You know, and I had like 7 clients. So I had like, for years, I was carrying from apartment to apartment every time we moved this bag of like silicone wristbands. Yeah. And I just threw them away eventually.
There you go.
So I never got through them. So a bunch of that stuff you think you need. You don't need branded wristbands. No. It doesn't add that much value. So there you go. That was me, man.
All right. So my worst physical investment was in a $20,000 app, iPhone app.
Yeah.
That app, I would say, is one of my best learning lessons. Spent $20,000 on an iPhone app and made a total of $14 back off it. Great return. And but this app, I was totally into Tony Robbins at the time when I built this. I have a graphic design background, and the reason I built this app was because I was right into goal setting, and I was like, there's not an app that has like the goal setting in the way that I want to do it. And so I literally created it for myself. The problem was that I knew how to use it. The moment that I launched it, no one else knew how to use it. And I literally had to sit there like with people who weren't technical, call it tech allergic. I had to still teach them, and I was like, fuck, it's way too hard.
Yeah.
And then shortly after I'd launched it, paid for it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I then learned that I could have spent $250 creating a prototype online, having people go through it, learning how to use it and all the other things. And so I can say today I wouldn't be where I am today without that app.
Yeah.
But fuck, yeah. I like, even to borrow the money, because I didn't tell Jess that I was borrowing the money. Yeah. I only got it into my account, got the loan approved, and then I told her. And then she's like, and I told her, I can take this money back. I can pay it back today, and there would be no penalties or anything like that. Or I can go and follow my dreams. And she goes,
fair enough.
So, but I did it. She hated me for it, and it's something that I had to apologize for later on, obviously. But it is a big lesson for me.
Can you still get this app?
Oh, I wish. No, you can't.
It just disappears.
I had a cease and desist letter because the name was owned by someone else as well. So not only can you not get it, it won't be on the Apple Store. Yeah. So it's a shame because I wish I still had it to just show people.
Yeah.
Because I often reference this story as well. So
stuff, man.
Anyway, maybe I can. Yeah, maybe it's something to look into. See if I can even just put it on my phone or download it somehow. Yeah. Anyway, that's another thing for another day. My best investment was actually buying. So I've actually given this to you as well. So I bought 10 good to great books.
Yeah.
The Big Red Book. One of my favorite books. I've obviously talked about this in a few different podcasts, but that book, I loved it so much that I listened to it in the audio thing and read it at the same time to try and just absorb the principles.
Does that work? People say that works. Does that work?
Yes, except for like sometimes the audio book is reading the words, sometimes they're not. Like sometimes they're summarizing.
They're ad-libbing a bit.
Yes. Yeah. So when that happens, it's shit. But for the most part, yes, it can work. And they're referencing, so look, if you open the book, look at this graph, that's good for that.
Yes.
And it does help you to retain, like, so I'd be sitting on a plane listening and reading at the same time. And it is one of those books that is worth doing that for. It is that good.
If you're really hardcore, close your eyes and get the Braille version as well.
Learn to Braille.
Eyes open, reading, Braille underneath, listening.
That's it. So I bought 10 of those books and give it to my clients. I feel like a true champion for giving some wisdom to others, as if I wrote it myself. No. So it's nice to be able to buy stuff like that, and it's nice to be able to reflect on it, talk about it, and and have something and impart some wisdom into other people's lives as well. So that was one of my best physical investments.
Bravo! I like it, man.
Thank you, Alex.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's go through the final topic of the day.
The final topic is best and worst videos.
Something that you're okay, close to your heart. Video.
So I'll keep it rolling. So I can't actually remember which video this was, but I remember creating a video ad where I thought I'd be super funny, and it was not funny at all. Like. It was a complete flop. It was funny to me inside my head, and I not only did I post it, and I just got no response. I then showed Jess, and I was like, "Is this okay?" And she's like, "It's not funny."
Right.
I was like, "Yeah, okay." So I had to take it down.
Good.
Yeah,
funny stuff.
Lesson learned.
Prepared funny is tough.
Yeah.
I think funny on like a podcast is easier than like I'm going to write a script and make something funny.
100%. Yeah. And
stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
They're way more talented than we probably 100%, think they are, right?
100%.
You think you can do that, but we can't do that.
No. All right, so my best video is actually one that I've just redone. So my best video that I've done to date is where I'm talking to me.
Alan.
Triple effect, Alan speaking.
Alan.
Yeah.
So I am in a white shirt, talking to myself back in my office. And
you ring yourself on the phone.
Yeah.
You're playing two different characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is my best performing video, literally to the degree that I have two specific clients who are now two leads who came through and are now clients who specifically wanted that video for themselves. They wanted that version.
It's a good concept.
Yeah.
I love the concept of it.
So I've recently done another one because it was so good. But the best part about it is those types of videos, you can really because it's someone talking to someone, you can say whatever you can be as salesy and cover exactly what you want to say within those videos because it's
saying to the audience.
Yeah, it's just it's a conversation that you're not a part of, but you're just eavesdropping on a conversation that's happening.
Yeah,
and
nice.
So it's really cool in that sense that you actually get to it's engaging enough that I'm eavesdropping on a conversation. So it's sort of like, I wonder what they're going to talk about. And so they're going back and forth talking about a topic. And then, you add little things like a banana in there or something like that so that people comment on it, which they absolutely do. So that has been my best video that I've ever done.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Well done, man.
Thank you. And it's actually one of my best converting video ads as well.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I didn't think about conversion as a factor. I just thought of videos that I like.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. So I'll start with the worst. I don't have a specific worst video, but back in the day when we first started doing all this online business stuff, I was basically challenged to do a Facebook Live every day.
Yep.
Basically. And you don't have the content for that when you're getting started. You don't know how to do them. You're not concise. You ramble. And so if I go back then, I'll be 24, just rambling into a phone like people should listen to me when they absolutely shouldn't have listened to me. And there's probably a good 50 shocker Facebook Lives from me.
Yep.
Just because I was just getting the ball rolling, But they were not good. Not good. There's some that are embarrassing and some that are just boring and most that are both, But and I've also done the webinars that you advertise and everyone kind of commits, yeah, I'm coming to the webinar,
Yeah.
and then no one comes to the webinar.
Yeah.
So you're in your office at like 8 p.m. at night, you're like, tell your girlfriend, I'm going to go and do this webinar. How was it? Oh, there was no one on it.
No one showed up.
Just me. Some people like rocked in and you're like, 3 people watching, and then it's like 2, 1, no
0.
one's watching.
Yeah.
Super rough.
Yeah.
Super rough.
Yeah.
I've done some good videos though. And they range. I used to do cooking videos. I did some great cooking videos. Did some travel vlogs. I've got some cooking videos and travel vlogs on YouTube with like 10,000 views on them.
Yeah.
And they're good. I used to really enjoy them. But I will leave the podcast with this today, Alan. I believe to date, the video I like more than any other video is one that you made for me in this building last month, which was the video about me falling through the roof. Where I was experimenting with our content, going away from this educational stuff, starting into storytelling, injecting some real personality into it. I told a story about I fell through the roof on Christmas Day, and just the editing you've done on it, it's compelling, it's funny, it's concise, it's short, it's just awesome, man. So we haven't launched that one yet.
Yeah.
And I think it's great, and hopefully people will really like engage with that style of content and resonate with it. But yeah, man, that's really good stuff. So
hell yeah.
Keep it up, bro.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you,
for
man.
the feedback. You know what? I actually thought you were going to say my favorite one of yours is let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Yes.
Do.
Well, that's my highest performing, that ad and another one, which is just me sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
They're my 2 highest performing video ads ever.
Yeah.
I just really, really enjoy the one you did.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
Sick, man.
Fair enough. The reason I mentioned even just that video ad that we're referring to, that's the day you literally, like, you didn't even know what you planned on doing. You brought a couple of little animals in. Yeah. Was it just the elephant, or did you bring a couple in?
I know. We were getting out of the car.
Yeah.
And my daughter had left a toy elephant in the car.
Yeah.
So I just brought it into the room.
Yeah, and literally, like, that ad, like, we're just talking, like, I don't know if you came up with the line, let's talk about the elephant in the room or whatever, but, you know, that, like, for those, I'll have to, like, put a link to this video that I keep referring to, because it is a sick ad, and I actually still have it as, you know, in our proposal with video examples and things. I use that as an example of one of the cool, sick videos that we create as well. So
you're a baller, man. I'm glad to be part of the testimonial, bro. So it's been a lifetime of ups and downs for me and Alan, and for you listening, I'm sure, and for most people in the world.
Yeah. Except
for bloody
JT Fox.
He's just
on top of the world.
All up. JT, there's a few winners in life. There's Toadfish from Neighbours.
Yeah.
John Bon Jovi and JT Fox.
There you go.
That's the Mountain Rushmore of cool dudes.
There you go. Thank you for listening to another episode of Dadvertising today. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day or evening or whatever.
Or morning.
All right. Thanks for listening.
See you next week, boys and girls.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.